world without light, before the stars came. Once, long before the stars filled the night sky, the world was a very different place. It was a time of endless shadows, where darkness wrapped itself around everything like a heavy blanket. The sun did not rise, and the moon did not shine. There were no twinkling stars to guide lost travelers or comfort lonely dreamers. The world was cold, quiet, and still, a place where light was only a wish whispered in the dark. In this world lived a young girl named Elara. She had never seen light, but she had heard stories of it from the elders. They spoke of a time, long forgotten, when the sky was bright and warm, when colors danced in the air, and when shadows were small and fleeting. Elara did not understand what colors were, for her world was only shades of gray and black. But she dreamed of light every night, imagining it as a golden thread weaving through the darkness. One day, tired of the endless night, Elara decided to go on a journey. She wanted to find the source of light, if it even existed. The elders warned her that the world beyond their village was dangerous, filled with creatures that thrived in the dark. But Elara was brave. She packed a small bag with food, wrapped herself in a thick cloak, and set out into the unknown. For many days she walked through forests where the trees stood like silent giants, their branches twisting into the black sky. The wind carried no songs, only whispers of things unseen. Elara did not know day from night, so she slept when she was tired and walked when she woke. She followed the sound of a distant river, hoping it would lead her somewhere new. One evening, though it was always evening in that world, Elara heard a soft humming. It was a sound unlike anything she had ever heard before. It was sweet and warm, like a lullaby. She followed the sound until she reached a small clearing. There, sitting on a rock, was an old woman with silver hair that shimmered faintly, as if holding the memory of light. "Who are you?" Elara asked. The woman smiled. "I am the keeper of stories," she said. "And you are the one who seeks light." Elara's heart leaped. "Does light still exist?" The old woman nodded. "It does, but it is hidden. Long ago the world was full of light, but the people grew greedy. They fought over it, hoarded it, and in their anger they broke the great lantern that hung in the sky. The pieces scattered, and darkness took its place." Elara's shoulders slumped. "Then there is no hope." The keeper of stories reached into her cloak and pulled out a small, glowing stone. It was no bigger than a pebble, but its light was pure and bright. Elara gasped. It was the first time she had ever seen light. "This is a piece of the broken lantern," the old woman said. "There are others like it, hidden across the world. If you gather them, you can bring back the light." Elara took the stone carefully. It warmed her fingers, casting tiny shadows on the ground. "Where do I find the others? The journey will not be easy," the keeper warned. "You must face the guardians of the dark, creatures who do not want the light to return." But Elara was determined. With the small stone as her guide, she continued her journey. She traveled through deep caves where eyeless beasts lurked, across vast plains where the wind howled like a lonely spirit, and over mountains that scraped the empty sky. One by one she found the stones. Some were guarded by fierce creatures, others hidden in forgotten places. But each time she found one, her own light grew stronger. The stones began to hum when they were near each other, as if they were calling to one another. Finally, after many trials, Elara had gathered all the pieces. She stood at the top of the highest mountain, where the air was thin and the darkness seemed endless. Holding the stones in her hands, she closed her eyes and whispered, "Bring back the light." The stones trembled and rose into the air. They spun faster and faster, their light growing brighter and brighter until a great explosion of radiance burst across the sky. The pieces of the lantern reunited, forming a brilliant sun that bathed the world in warmth. And when night fell for the first time, The fragments that had scattered farthest became the stars, tiny beacons of hope in the vast darkness. The people of the world looked up in wonder. They had forgotten what light was, but now they remembered. Colors returned, green to the grass, blue to the sky, gold to the fields, and Elara, standing on the mountain, smiled. She had brought back what was lost. From that day on, the stars shone every night, reminding the world that even in the deepest darkness, light could always return. And so, whenever you look up at the stars, remember Elara's journey. And remember that even the smallest light can change the world. The end.